Shalom. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, double honors to the elder bishops with great millstone as GMS. Peace and blessings to the Akim and the few Akwath across the four winds. This is about the Mayim coming to you with a short lesson. Now, I saw this on First Post. Game over for Erdogan. Massive protests in Turkey threaten Erdogan's grip on power. Vantage with Palki Sharma. She's the lady to the right in the picture, and Erdogan is pretty much the president or the head of Turkey right now. But there's a lot of uproars and rebellion, to get him out of office. Now, I'm not too sure. I didn't have to go into too much of detail or depth of what's going on in Turkey, but he was once beloved. But Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, with these prophecies, are starting to show us, hey, what's written. He's making it manifest. He's making it plain to us, mainly the prophets. And the prophets, to prophesy means to say before. The Lord is revealing a lot to us in these days, in these last days. We're getting closer and closer to salvation. Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai have not done it? So we're giving you warning. And that city is mainly Babylon the Great. But we have to be on our watch. As watchmen, as prophets, we have to, watch world news. We have to, be circumspect, and go into circumspect. Goes into, like a 360 degree, like a full circle, and spec with like circumference goes in 360 degrees like a full circle, and spec is to look. So you got to look around the world, with that spiritual eye, have that eye salve. Amos 3 and 6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall they be evil in a city, and the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai have not done it? So, the people aren't afraid just yet, because they don't understand that World War III is starting to pop off. The mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, is coming soon. Martial law is coming soon. We're giving warning, and the mark of the beast is going to be pushed all over the globe. All of these, is going to lead to the MOTB, the mark of the beast. I like to call it the microcharagma. It's that grain of rice that's going to go underneath your skin, whether it's in your head, your forehead, as the scriptures say, or in your right hand, or any part of your body. But shall they be evil in a city, and the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai have not done it? Soon people all over the world are going to start, rebelling and going against, the governments. Now, it's going to be bad times. That's going to be in the time of Jacob's trouble, which is going to be a time like never was before. But Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai power will do nothing, but he revealed his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So the Lord revealed the secret so we can make it plain, through these video epistles of what's going on around the world. A lot of people don't know about the uproars, that's going on in Turkey, that they're they're rebelling against Erdogan. 2nd Esdras chapter 9 verse 1. And he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai will begin to visit the world in which he made. So we're watching these prophecies unfold. We're watching them manifest. That's how you measured out the time diligently. You measure them by the news, and you filter them through the scriptures. You match it up with the scriptures. 2nd Esdras chapter 9 verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, we're just seeing earthquakes going on, in Myanmar. I always pronounce that wrong, Salakia, but over in that region, it's hundreds of people perishing, and that number is going to continue to increase once they start removing a lot of rubble. and uproars of the people in the world. So you can see, hey, it's uproars starting in Turkey. Wasn't expecting Turkey to have uproars to get Erdogan, out of power. These things are coming to pass. They're manifesting faster and faster. As Yahweh Bashim Yahushua shortening the days for the elect's sake. Hey, we're getting closer and closer to salvation. Our salvation is nearer than what we believe. 2nd Esdras chapter 9 verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Yahweh wrote the end from the beginning. But before we were, reincarnated in this modern time, hey, these things were written before this time. Romans 15, things written aforetime were written for our learning. So, hey, we can learn from what's written in these scriptures. Again, these precepts, these scriptures are manifesting. These prophecies are manifesting. Second Esdras chapter 9 verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So we're at the end. Second Esdras chapter 6 verse 9. For Esau, Edom, and self-proclaimed white man is the end of the world, and Jacob, which Jacob's name was changed to Israel. You Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we're the beginning of it that follow it. And once we begin that follow the downfall of Esau, Edom, and the rest of these other heathen nations, that's when we get the rule in eternity and righteousness. And that's what we're hastening the day for. 2nd Esdras chapter 15. I'm going to start at verse 15. Second Esdras chapter 15 verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So, hey, once Jacob's trouble really catches fire, that's when this is going to really happen. You're going to see people in the street. The love of many is going to start to wax colder and colder. People are going to go crazy. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the Father of spirits, is going to put it on people's spirits to war against one another. And we're waiting on the destruction of, again, 2nd Esdras 6 and 9. We're waiting on the end of Esau, Edom rulership. Because it's going to be a domino effect of these other heathen nations. These other heathen nations are going to be taken out of rulership also. 2nd Esdras chapter 15 verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So I wanted to get this word sedition in the etymology online. Sedition goes into mid-14th century rebellion, uprising, revolt, factitious commotion in the state. That's what's going on. A rebellion, an uprising, a revolt. There's commotion in the state. Concerted attempt to overthrow civil authority. So, hey, they're making an attempt to overthrow, Erdogan. Violent strife between factions, civil or religious disorder, riot, rebelliousness against authority. Hey, they're rebellion against Erdogan, who was once, beloved. Disorder, dissension, strife, rebellion, mutiny, literally a going apart, separation. So the people are separating themselves, from Erdogan. And then I want to get this word dissension, and I ended off on that. Dissension, early 14th century, disagreement in opinion, especially strong disagreement, which produces heated debate. So it's going to go from a debate, heated uprising to what? Hey, to a lot of violence in these streets. And that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on these uproars to increase, so on and so forth. We just wait on these prophecies to continue to manifest so we can be delivered. Call Halayim La, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, double honors to the elder bishops of Great Millstone GMS, who we learned this truth from. Double honors to the elder high priest who taught them this truth. And peace and bless to the Akim and a few Akwat across the four winds. Shalom. Salvation is nearer than what we believe, brothers and sisters. Keep fighting, keep pushing. We almost out of here. Shalom.